August 15, 1977, 10:16 p.m., in a quiet field outside Delaware, Ohio. A radio telescope the size of 3 football fields is staring at the sky. Nobody is watching the readouts. Nobody is in the room. And in those unwatched seconds, something out there presses the transmit button. For exactly 72 seconds, a signal 30 times louder than the background of the universe pours into the telescope, on the one radio frequency that astronomers had predicted an alien civilization would choose. Then it stops. And in the almost 50 years since that night, despite more than 100 attempts, it has never, ever been heard again. This is Casefile number 2, and tonight you'll learn 4 things. The sleepy telescope that heard the impossible, the 6 characters that made astronomers panic, every explanation science has thrown at it, and how each one died, and the twist, why the answer might have been sitting in an archive this whole time. And stay to the end, because this story connects directly to Casefile number 1 in a way that still gives me chills. Let's open the file. To understand what happened that night, you need to meet the strangest telescope America ever built. They called it Big Ear. It didn't look like a telescope at all. It was a giant aluminum field, bigger than 3 football pitches, with 2 huge metal reflectors facing each other across it. Big Ear couldn't move. It couldn't point. It just lay there while the Earth rotated underneath the sky, letting the universe drift slowly through its gaze. Anything out there passed through its beam for exactly 72 seconds. Remember that number. 72 seconds. It's about to become the most important number in this story. Big Ear wasn't built to hunt aliens. It was designed in the 50s by an engineering professor named John Krause to map distant galaxies. And for years it did exactly that, cataloging tens of thousands of radio sources. But by the 70s its government funding was gone. The university had sold part of the land, and the great aluminum ear was living on borrowed time, kept alive by professors and students working for free on nights and weekends. By 1977, Big Ear had been reassigned to the least glamorous job in astronomy, listening for alien signals. The search had no money, no staff, and no prestige. The volunteers ran it on donated time. The computer recording the data had less memory than a modern calculator, so it couldn't even store the signals it heard. It just printed numbers onto paper, hour after hour, night after night. And so the most famous signal in the history of the search for alien life was not discovered live, at a console, with red lights flashing. It was discovered days later, by a volunteer professor named Jerry Emmon, sitting at his kitchen table, flipping through a stack of computer printouts like a teacher grading homework. Column after column of 1s, 2s, 3s. The quiet hiss of an empty universe. And then, halfway down one page, Emmon's eyes locked on his 6 characters that should not have been there. 6. EQUJ. 5. His hand moved before his brain caught up. He grabbed a red pen, circled the sequence, and wrote one word in the margin. Wow. So what do those 6 characters actually mean? They're not a message. They're a measurement. Big Ear's computer recorded signal strength once every 12 seconds, using a simple code. 0 through 9, then letters. A means 10, B means 11, and so on, up the alphabet. 6. EQUJ. 5. Watch what that spells as a curve. 6, then 14, then 26, then 30, then 19, then 5. It rises, peaks, and falls. That letter U, the peak, means the signal hit 30 times the background noise of the cosmos. In 6 years of listening, Big Ear had never printed AU. Most nights, it barely got past 4. But the strength wasn't what made astronomers' blood run cold. It was the frequency. The signal came in at 1,420 megahertz. That number is sacred in radio astronomy. It's the natural hum of hydrogen, the most common atom in the universe. Every radio astronomer on any world would know it. Back in 1959, 2 physicists wrote a famous paper asking, if aliens wanted to be found, what channel would they broadcast on? Their answer, the hydrogen line. It's the universe's default radio station, the one frequency every civilization with a telescope would eventually discover. When SETI pioneers imagined first contact, this exact frequency is where they pointed their receivers. And here's the detail that rules out half the boring explanations immediately. On Earth, transmitting on that frequency is illegal. The hydrogen line is a protected band, reserved worldwide for radio astronomy. No TV station, no airport radar, no satellite is allowed to touch it. So whatever lit up Big Ear that night was either breaking international law, or it wasn't from Earth. If the source really sat among the stars of Sagittarius, then to ring Big Ear's bell that hard, the transmitter would need to burn through more energy than a large power station, focused into a single sliver of radio spectrum aimed our way. If it was broadcasting in all directions at once, the numbers get absurd. You'd need a meaningful fraction of an entire planet's power output. Whatever pressed transmit that night was not a toy. A name that sounds like poetry. Just below hydrogen's hum sits the signature of hydroxyl. Hydrogen plus hydroxyl makes water. So the quiet band between them was nicknamed the water hole, the place where cosmic travelers might gather, the way animals gather at water on the savannah. It was a romantic idea, and the WOW signal landed almost exactly in it. Now, a good detective's first instinct is that it's a fake, a glitch, a reflection, interference. So let's do what skeptics have done for 5 decades and try to kill this signal. Attempt number 1. It was something on Earth. Here's the problem. Remember the 72 seconds? Because Big Ear couldn't move, a real signal from the sky had to rise and fall in a perfect, predictable curve as the Earth's rotation carried it through the beam. Gradual rise, peak in the middle, gradual fall. The WOW signal matched that curve exactly. A plane, a satellite, a ground transmitter would have smeared across it. This thing moved with the stars. Attempt number 2. A secret military satellite. Possible, except nothing was cataloged in that orbit. Transmitting there was banned, and in 50 years no government satellite program from that era has ever been shown to use the hydrogen line. Attempt 3. A reflection of an Earth signal off space debris. But the signal was narrower than almost anything humans transmitted, and again, on the forbidden frequency. Attempt number 4. Some natural cosmic object. A pulsar, a quasar, a flaring star. But nature is messy. Natural radio sources almost always smear their energy across wide swaths of the dial, like static. The WOW signal was the opposite, a razor-thin spike, squeezed into a sliver of bandwidth narrower than 10 kilohertz. In 1977, we knew of exactly one kind of machine that produces signals that pure, a transmitter. And then there's the creepiest detail in the whole file. Big Ear actually had 2 feed horns, side by side. A source drifting through should appear in one horn, then 3 minutes later in the other. The WOW signal appeared in exactly one, as if it switched on inside those 72 seconds and switched off before the second horn arrived. The telescope's design meant they couldn't even tell which horn heard it. So to this day, there are 2 possible patches of sky it came from, both in the constellation Sagittarius, both seemingly empty. So it passed every test a one-time signal can pass, which leaves the obvious move: hear it again, confirm it, one repeat, and it's the biggest discovery in human history. Jerry Emmon and the Big Ear team pointed back at that patch of Sagittarius the very next month. Silence. They tried again, and again. Over the following decades, Big Ear reobserved that spot more than 50 times. In the 1990s, the Very Large Array, one of the most powerful radio telescopes on the planet, swept the coordinates and could have detected a signal 1,000 times fainter than the original. Nothing. Other observatories joined in. Hundreds of hours of listening. The sky just hums back, empty. Then in 2017, headlines around the world announced the mystery was solved. A researcher claimed 2 passing comets, trailing clouds of hydrogen gas, had drifted through that patch of sky and produced the signal. Case closed? Not even close. Radio astronomers tore the theory apart within weeks. Comet hydrogen clouds are thousands of times too faint, and when the positions were checked properly, the comets weren't even in Big Ear's beam that night. The comet theory is now considered debunked. The file stayed open. What about the man who found it? Here's what I love about Jerry Emmon. The owner of the most famous alien evidence on Earth spent his whole life refusing to say the word alien. He tried to debunk his own signal for decades. His rule was simple. Extraordinary claims need extraordinary evidence, and one beautiful, unrepeatable curve on a printout isn't enough. Even he admitted, though, that after killing every ordinary explanation, the possibility he couldn't bury was the extraordinary one. There's one more explanation worth taking seriously, and it's the one that makes the silence make sense. What if it was a beam, not a broadcast? A lighthouse sweeping the galaxy, not a porch light left on. If someone out there sweeps a narrow, powerful beam across the sky, any given planet catches it only for moments, maybe once in centuries. We didn't miss the call. We just happened to be standing in the beam, once, for 72 seconds, in the summer of 1977. Humanity did eventually answer, by the way. In 2012, for the signal's 35th anniversary, the Arecibo telescope beamed a reply toward that patch of Sagittarius. 10,000 crowdsourced messages from the public, tagged so any recipient could tell it was intentional. If anyone is out there at the WOW signal's source, and they're listening the way we were, our response is already decades deep into its journey. Now for the part of this story that physically hurts. You'd think the telescope that heard the most promising signal in SETI history would be a national monument. Instead, in 1998, Big Ear was torn down. The land was sold. Today, the exact spot where humanity may have overheard another civilization is a golf course and a housing development. People tee off on top of it. The printout survived. That sheet of paper with the red circle and the scribbled WOW now sits in an archive in Ohio, kept like a relic. Because that's what it is, 72 seconds of something pressed into paper that we've never managed to hear again. But the file didn't close. In 2020, an amateur astronomer sifted the star catalogs and found something the 1970s couldn't have seen. Sitting in the WOW signal's patch of sky is a star almost identical to our sun. Right distance, right temperature, right size. If you had to bet on one nearby system hosting a planet like ours, it's the kind of star you'd pick. It's now a target for modern telescope searches. And then came the twist I promised. In the 2020s, astronomers digging through old archives from the Arecibo telescope found signals eerily similar to the WOW signal, just far weaker. Same hydrogen frequency, same shape. Their theory, a rare cosmic accident, where a burst from a dead, ultramagnetic star slams into a cold cloud of hydrogen and makes it flash like a cosmic laser. If that's true, the WOW signal wasn't a hello. It was a natural event, so rare we've never caught it in the act. And if the WOW signal happened tonight, it would not get away. Modern observatories monitor millions of channels at once, in real time, with software that would flag the spike in milliseconds while it was still transmitting. Multiple telescopes would swing onto the coordinates within minutes and triangulate the source. The tragedy of 1977 is that our one great whisper arrived when all we could do was print it on a paper and read it days later, cold. But here's the thing. That theory would itself be a major discovery, and it is still unproven. So the honest scorecard, after almost 50 years, reads like this. Not a glitch, not a comet, not a satellite, possibly a once-in-a-lifetime cosmic accident, possibly a lighthouse we stood in front of for exactly one sweep. The WOW signal remains what it became the moment a red pen circled it, the best candidate alien signal humanity has ever received. And now the detail that ties this whole channel together. 20 days after that signal hit Big Ear, in that very same summer, humanity launched Voyager 1, carrying a golden record of greetings into the dark. The same species that heard a whisper from the stars answered it, without even knowing, in the same month. If you haven't seen case file number 1, that story is on your screen right now. Subscribe so you don't miss case file number 3. Drop your theory about the wow signal in the comments, natural flash, or lighthouse sweep, and I'll see you in the next file. Keep listening.